Hi, this is Martin Coleman, and I'm going to be talking about some basic cascading style sheets in Dreamweaver CS5. The first thing to talk about cascading style sheets is they're a lot like the styles that we're used to when we're making pages, applying bolds, headers, things like that. That when you select text, you can apply a style to it, and we can make it bold, we can make it italic, we can choose different basically formats, whether you want it to be a heading 1, heading 2, different things like that, and we can turn them on and off. Well, cascading style sheets are pretty much the same thing. That you set up a style that you're going to apply to either text or the formatting or some other option on your website. So the first thing we're going to do is look at creating a new style. And over here on the right, you can create a new CSS, and you should get this box the first time. Let them apply to anything. We can choose an ID tag that already exists. We can work with refining HTML, which in this case we could make a P be bold or a paragraph be bold or italic or anything like that. Or we can create our own. Let's go ahead and start our own. We're going to call this one test. And I'm going to make a brand new style sheet. This will allow me to have one that saves all my styles in one sheet, and then I can apply that to multiple web pages at one time. And I'm going to save this on my computer. And now I can go in and start applying my style. In this case, maybe I want the test one to have, say, Courier font. And I want it to always be a size 18, something pretty big. We can go through, we can choose if we want it to be italic or normal or anything like that. We can choose if we want to make it bold or even bolder or lighter, thinner. We can go in and choose different colors. Maybe we want it to always be green. Or maybe I want it to be maybe a red, and underline. Those are some basic text ones. Once we apply it, your style is there. Then you can select your text, and then down here in our class we can choose that style. Instantly, every time I want to apply that style, it's going to remember all those options I choose, so it saves me a lot of time. Now, other styles that you might use, let's call this one test 2. I might want to come in and I say, well, I want the background color for whatever I select to be, I don't know, kind of a mint color, or I want to use an image. Those are some options besides the normal text. We'll make this one small. And now when I select 2, it automatically applies that background and size and format to there. Alright, now let's look at some different layout options that we can use with cascading style sheets. In the past, we may have developed things using a table. And a table is an easy way to go in and add kind of a look and feel. You can set the width of it, you can choose how many columns and rows, and you can drop it in anywhere and put in your content for organizing basically how things are going to lay out. But you're kind of limited to that grid system. You really don't have the control or the ability to really tweak your page to look the way you want. And so in this case, we're going to use what they call div tags to organize things with cascading style sheets. To do that, we can go in and create another style, and let's say we want to call this one box. Once we've created it, we can go in and we can set backgrounds for our box if we want to do that. We can go in and change maybe how the spacing is going to look. We can go into the box and make it a specific size. This can be an auto, it can be a value, so maybe I want it to be say 400 pixels, and I don't really care about the height, so I'm going to set the auto. I may want a little bit of padding around the outside of the box so text doesn't touch it. And I can make this the same for everything. Maybe I want to make it 10 pixels. And then I want a little space on the inside of the box between the content and the whatever we choose for that. So maybe I'm going to make that 10 also. I also have options to put borders around our boxes. And we can come in and choose straight lines, dotted, grooves, just about anything you could think of. And it makes it kind of a cool design sometimes. Most times we're not going to put these lines in. We're going to try and make it invisible. But I'm just going to show you kind of what it looks like so you have a better idea when it comes time to create this box. Some things you might want to worry about are the positioning of your box. In this case, we've chosen the width and kind of the size of that. But when we get into positions, we have these 4 that we choose for how it's going to react on our page. If we leave it blank, it's pretty much just going to put a box in the corner, kind of where your cursor was in that time. And we have absolute. It's going to make it relative to the first element that doesn't have some other settings around it, and so they're just going to stack up. The fixed is an exact pixel. We can choose that we want it 20 pixels from the left, 10 pixels from the top, and put it in the exact spot somewhere on our page. When you do the fixed, you have to be a little concerned about if your page gets bigger or smaller, because it's not going to move around and adjust to it. It's always going to be that exact spot on there, and sometimes you do want that. Relative is normal to the flow as far as how things are laid in. If you have multiple of these boxes, it'll keep kind of going in order, top to bottom, left to right. But you can have it maybe 10 pixels from the last one that was there. So that may give you a little columns or widths or some organization as far as positioning your box, as far as putting the content in. And then the static is just kind of your normal flow. It's going to drop it in and put it in the right spot. It's an easy one to use. I think today we're just going to go with we'll go with an absolute. As far as some other things, we talked about placement. If I want it from the left, I want it to be, say, 20 pixels over, I can do that. And maybe top, I want it to be maybe 25. Just some options to kind of show you. Those are our basic setups for creating these little boxes that we can move around and adjust. And once you're done, you can hit OK. And then I can come in and I can insert a div tag. And I can choose the box, and I can have it at the insertion point, and I can even give it an ID. Maybe I want to call it first. And once I'm done, hit OK, and it's going to drop that in 20 pixels from the left, 25 from the top. Have my little bit of buffer, color, all that in there. But you notice that it is floating on top of my content. Well, that's what these do. They float there, and that's how we organize and move them around. So I could come in here and I could copy all my content and drop it in here, and magically it takes all that formatting that I had before. But you'll notice that any formatting that I had with other ones still resides within this existing box. Now, once I've got this created, let's say I don't like the background. I want to make it clear. I can go in here and click on this box, double click, and I can go in and modify anything. So maybe I don't want anything. I apply it, hit OK, and now I have an invisible background or box. If I don't like that, I can also go in and I can edit using this pencil once I have something selected, and I could go in and I could change the background color to maybe kind of a light yellow or something. And now you can see that's covered up that way. So as you add additional div tags, these are going to drop in next to each other, and you'll be able to see them keep adding on top or around each other. And so this one, once again, 25, 20, and then it stacks on here, and you just keep building. If I wanted to, I could put some on the right, I could put some on the left, and I could organize my website. So if you have any questions, have a good time. Check out some of the other resources. Give me a call, email, and I think you'll get it figured out.